Welcome to the 2021 CAP Australia Virtual Fundraising Dinner, The Table. We are so glad that you have decided to tune in and join us from wherever you are right across Australia. We'll be your host for this evening. My name is Stuart.
And my name is Lauren, and we have 1 hour together tonight. We're going to be hearing some incredible stories from some clients, and we're also going to have the opportunity to hear from CEO Rosie Kendall as she shares a bit about the vision and the future for CAP Australia.
Yeah, I'm sure you're keen to check in with Justin Narayan, MasterChef 2021 winner. So we'll be spending plenty of time with him throughout the evening. And of course, this is a fundraiser, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to partner with us by making a donation. We do pray that you would give and give generously. You can do that online or by calling one of our friendly team who would love to talk with you, and those details are down the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, and those staff are actually working from home tonight, taking your calls. We are lucky to be here in the head office together.
Yep.
But really, we'd love to be together. We would really love to be with you in your homes. Really connecting tonight. But there are ways that we can connect tonight. So the best way to do that is to be heading to the comments on the YouTube channel. You can comment about what you thought of the food. You could probably comment on some of Stu's terrible jokes.
Some of my awesome jokes, I'm sure.
And you can talk back to us. We'd actually could see some of your photos of your beautiful meals.
Yeah, that's right. You can do that by when posting a photo on your social media. Make sure you use the hashtag #GatheringForGood. That will also be at the bottom of your screen. This will mean that we can actually check in with you and see what you're doing in your homes, around your dining tables, in your living rooms, because we want to connect with you in some way, even though we can't be together physically.
That's right. And we're actually going to kick off the night by going to a living room.
Yep.
We're going all the way over to Western Australia with CAP board member Karen Wilson.
Very lucky, Karen.
She's very lucky because she gets the privilege of hosting Justin tonight. We would love to have him here, wouldn't we?
I know, I'm very jealous of Karen actually.
And it turns out for good actually they have a bit of a personal connection.
Is that right? How do they know each other?
Something to do with church circles.
Yeah, it's a small world in church circles, I'm so sure.
It always is the way, but let's head over now to Western Australia and say hello.
Be part of what's happening right across our country this time. I am privileged. I agree with you both. And this is Justin. Say hi, Justin.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's a huge honour to be here. Karen, thanks for hosting. It's a party, which is a lot of fun.
It is a party. Later on, you'll see just how big that party is. So I have had someone here as a sous chef for Justin. You're at that level now. You need an assistant. So we're excited to join you, and we'll pop back and forth and have a chat as the event goes. So bye, everyone.
See ya.
Hello and welcome to the table. Great to see you, Justin and Karen. We are gathered today to do something significant. If you've not met me before, my name is Rosie and I'm the CEO of CAP Australia, and it's my privilege to be with you tonight. It's great to meet Justin. I'm actually a huge MasterChef fan, and so I'm particularly disappointed that we're not able to meet in person. But how wonderful is technology that we can gather from all around the country at a table together, from all across the nation. And it's a great representation of what God is doing throughout Australia, all the way from a little city called Newcastle in New South Wales, where I am today, all the way over to the other side of the nation in Perth, Western Australia, where Justin and board member Karen are having a dinner party. I hope you've enjoyed cooking Justin's menu. Send us some photos in the chat or by using the hashtag #GatheringForGood on social media. For the past 21 years, CAP Australia has been used mightily by God to work with churches to help people that are in overwhelming debt. We've also partnered with churches to help individuals and families with financial education through the CAP Money course. The past 2 years have been very surprising for most of us. None of us expected 2 years ago that we would be heading into a pandemic, something that most of us have never experienced before. Each of us have seen families, friends, neighbours, family members who have suffered through some sort of financial crisis. COVID has taught us that no one is immune to facing financial distress. If we're unable to put food on the table, if we're unable to pay our mortgage or our rent, we get stuck in complex and very difficult situations. We often feel alone and isolated. We need someone to walk with us through that journey, to ensure that we're not alone or disconnected, to ensure that we receive the help that we need. We need someone to mentor us through the complexities of our financial situation, to be our friend. CAP has a mission to equip a movement of churches to walk alongside those in financial distress. And during this past season, God has given us a vision to trial something new, a new partnership model, a new vision. CAP Debt Help Partnerships and CAP Money has served the mission of CAP really well over the past 20 years, but together we are facing a new day, and it's time to try something new. We will spend time unpacking that together this evening. My hope is that God gives you a fresh vision for what might be possible in the years to come. CAP has a new vision to ensure that no Australian faces financial distress alone. A future where hope, community and generosity abound so that all will flourish. And today, we are gathered to provide much needed financial resources to make that happen. Later on, we're going to hear stories of transformation, lives filled with hope, community and generosity. People who are now living a life in all its fullness, thanks to the hope of Jesus and the community and generosity of his people. And as part of this vision, we are piloting a new partnership option for churches. And here's an animation to share with you to see what this looks like.
CAP has been on a 20-year journey. Together, we've seen thousands released from the pain of unmanageable debt. And we've learned a lot along the way. The experience of our volunteers, along with some research of our own, has helped CAP understand the broader problem Aussies are facing. While everyone with unmanageable debt is in financial distress, not everyone in financial distress is in debt. In fact, 1 in 4 Australians say they are barely getting by, and this is unacceptable. So what can we do about it? CAP believes that no Australian should live in financial distress. But through a movement of churches, the problem can be addressed. Long-term freedom, generosity, wholeness, it's possible. And this can be achieved through partnership between CAP and the church. It's a wider problem, but we're confident that along the way, together, we've learned just how the church can be the solution to financial distress, seeing individuals flourish within a connected community. That's why CAP has created a new way for the church to reach those they're called to. We've built a self-paced online course based on a biblical approach to financial well-being, teaching mentoring and interpersonal relational skills, while empowering a collective that builds knowledge over time. These volunteers will be better prepared than ever before to commit to walk alongside people in all sorts of financial distress for the long term, helping them understand their relationship to money, meet commitments, build resilience, and most importantly, pointing them towards Jesus. Together, we're all walking alongside to see these individuals journey toward flourishing within a connected community. Replicate this 1,000, 2,000 times in churches across the nation, and it builds a movement.
So far, CAP has equipped 13 churches through this new program with all they need, the skills, resources and tools to walk alongside people in financial distress. 28 money mentors have been trained with all they need to offer hope, community and generosity so that all will flourish. And today sees another 3 churches and 5 money mentors who commence their online training. Flourishing means you have a sense of meaning, you have hope for the future, you matter to others, and it is important to recognise how our financial situations and relationship to money can impact our overall well-being. Financial stress of any kind can rob us of well-being and flourishing. And tonight, you have the opportunity to come to the table and walk alongside people that are in very difficult financial situations, to offer hope, to see people walk in financial freedom. If you long to see the Church of Australia become known as a place of refuge for the vulnerable, if you believe in community and generosity and long to see Christians across the nation equipped to local mission, then what better place for you to be than right here, right now. Between now and the end of the year, CAP needs to raise $300,000 to ensure CAP can continue with this innovation phase of piloting through something new, as well as continuing with CAP's current programs. And tonight, I want to invite you to take part in the miracle of God's provision. Specifically, $220,000 is needed to fund the innovation work CAP is doing. With your partnership tonight, we believe that the church has an amazing opportunity to provide practical help and hope to thousands of Australians that are facing financial distress. So, as we gather around the table, physically and virtually, you are invited to play your part in making the CAP vision a reality. You can give at any time tonight. You don't need to wait till the end of the evening. The phone lines are open now. Our wonderful head office staff are at home and ready to talk to you. The phone number is on your screen. You can also give on the CAP website. The donate page is also on your screen. And the best news of all tonight, thanks to some very generous CAP supporters, we have a match fund of $50,000. So, if you give or pledge before the end of this evening, it has to be today, not tomorrow, your gift will be doubled. Give a gift of $500 and CAP will receive $1,000. What an offer. Give a gift of $100 and CAP will receive $200. Every dollar will make a difference. No gift is too small. Also, to let you know, there is a group of seed funders that have been giving and pledging in the lead up to tonight's gathering. Many of them are watching tonight. We will also be adding in their donations to the total raised tonight. I'll share more about that later. So, as we gather around our table, let's check in again with Justin and Karen and hear a little bit more about Justin's MasterChef journey.
Unfortunately, it seems like there's been a little bit of trouble getting the feed connected with WA, but the team is working very hard on that. And I would actually also like to introduce my co-host this evening.
Yes, it seems like you maybe couldn't hear me earlier, but technology, you know.
Yes, that's right.
But we'll continue along anyway. So we were going to head over to WA, but we're not going to go there just yet. Where are we going to head instead?
Instead, we're going to go to Adelaide, South Australia, and that's not so bad. That's my hometown. There's a lot of great people in Adelaide, so shout out to anyone who is tuning in from there. And we're going to hear from two pastors from Coastlands Church in Adelaide South.
Yeah, so firstly, I think we're...
Hi guys, my name's Ben Whittaker. I'm from Coastlands Church in Adelaide. We've been partnering with the CAP organisation for the last couple of years. As we were launching out into wanting to be more missional into the community we found ourselves in particular around community care. We were looking to be able to engage people with food care. We were looking to be able to help them with community assistance, but we also were looking for programs and things that would actually help us to be able to transform their situations so that those things wouldn't be a necessity in their life. And we've just really appreciated being able to incorporate that in our community care missions and being able to see so many people come into that course from within the church, but also outside of the church, and have our understanding of what it looks like to walk financially free. So really we appreciate all that you are doing, and that is the way we've seen it applied, and really look forward to the benefit of what that might do into the season ahead.
Hey CAP family, it's Andrew Hill here from Coastlands Church in Adelaide. I've been asked to share with you some of our journey with CAP over the last few years, and now with Money Mentoring and the Renew Money program. Let me first say how grateful we are for the gospel partnership that we have with the CAP team. They're a great bunch of people who pour their lives out for the sake of the gospel, equipping churches across Australia to transform our communities with the message and restorative love of Jesus. So some context for you. Coastlands is a serving community in the beachside suburb of Brighton, where there's a huge disparity of lifestyles and social challenges, as there are all over Australia. It's such a privilege to be part of the chosen people of God, his church, his family, his body, his army that announces and demonstrates the good news of the relief, the refuge and restoration that Jesus has secured for us. So let me tell you of a couple of simple vehicles running in our community care arm that we use to love the people around us. The first initiative is our community pantry. Fortnightly, a generous team from our church set up a humble pantry operated out of a few cupboards in our cafe area at church, and we serve those who from our area who come in needing some help in supplementing their weekly groceries. We regularly see a number of people from different walks of life, and the young, the old, who come in and sit down, have a coffee and a chat, and as they come to fill up a few shopping bags from groceries that are donated by our church community. Cap Money has been our other really successful initiative through the last couple of years, and we've a team of Cap Money coaches who have facilitated a gospel-centered Cap Money course to small groups. We've seen individuals released from crippling debt, regret and abuse, marriages saved, those soon to be married set up foundations for the future, and people join our church through the Cap Money program. Now that we've completed the money mentoring, I think it's really been the link that's been missing for our team. The training has given us confidence and skills in communicating with those that we're mentoring, the ability to really listen and support people in discovering their goals and desires and helping them to identify thoughts, mindsets that are contributing to anxiety or creating an obstacle to breaking the debt cycle. The Renew Money program still has the same great money strategies, but most importantly for us as a church, it happens in community. It's Christ-centered, and it points towards a relationship with God and the empowerment by His Spirit to walk it out. There's 3 hooks, 3 biblical foundations in the Renew Money program that have been really helpful for us in reframing people's perspective towards the eternal and the bigness of God. God's claim to be the creator, provider and sustainer and the source of flourishing in life. The call and the charge to be the people who use the resources of God with wisdom for our own lives and to give generously to others when we have the opportunity. And the caution that the Bible gives us around the problem with money and its inability to fulfill our lives with the things that only a relationship with God can. A couple of us have already begun working with people as money mentors in our community, and we're looking forward to the upcoming opportunities that we have in using it as with a hybrid in the small group format, but also the one-on-one mentoring at the same time. Well, it's been a real honour to have been able to share this really fun and important night with you. I hope a little bit of insight into how things operate in our community might spark some ideas with you or encourage you to get involved in the work of CAP or inspire you in the way that they might be activated in your community. I hope that you're all enjoying the creativity and hospitality and generosity of God on display. Let's keep living lives that are generous, deeply spiritual and powerfully practical, displaying God in our communities all over Australia. All right, back to the cooking. See ya.
The church is the hope of the world. The church is God's plan for bringing redemption. The church, His community of followers, is God's plan A. There is no plan B for establishing the kingdom of heaven here on earth. God has called His people to bring the good news to all people, that the kingdom of heaven is near. In the kingdom, all people will have enough. Generosity will abound, and financial distress will be no more. In Revelation it says, one day He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. I am making everything new. The church has an opportunity. During COVID, the ideas of church have been challenged. I think we always knew that the church was more than just our gathering together on a Sunday, but COVID has challenged this thinking in a radical way. What is the church and what is its purpose? What is my role as a Jesus follower in being part of the church? How do we partner with God in this revelation work of making everything new? I think there are lots of answers to this question, but I see a significant opportunity in helping people grapple with the complexities of money, something Christians with the wisdom from the Bible are uniquely placed to do. People need identity, purpose, and belonging. They need a community around them that is going to do the hard yards alongside them. We need to move from a culture of church consumerism to a culture of laying our life down for the sake of our neighbour. But with the current environment, it's hard to help people in challenging situations. A lot of churches don't know where to begin, and those that do have successful crisis support are looking for resources to help them bring financial freedom to the people that they are serving. CAP needs you to make this possible. CAP needs you to invest in the right people, new systems, new training, so that we can continue with this pilot to create a new service and get it ready for scale. Specifically, CAP needs to raise $220,000 to fund this innovation work. To make a donation, please call CAP on the phone number at the bottom of your screen. You can give or pledge a gift to give into the future. Alternatively, you can give straight away by visiting the CAP website. And thanks to some very generous CAP supporters, we have that match fund of $50,000. So if you give or pledge before the end of this evening, your gift will be doubled. Give a gift of $1,000 and CAP will receive $2,000. This is your opportunity to double your impact. So I'm sure you're all eager to find out how much we have raised so far. So if you're at home, please join me in a little drum roll. If you're on your own or in a big group, little drum roll now. The total raised, including the match fund, is currently sitting at $35,920. Woohoo! We've got a long way to go to that 220 mark, but it is a great start. Now, I believe we're back on live with Perth again, so I'm going to hand over to Justin and Karen now.
Well, we're here with you, and thank you to everyone behind the scenes that is working so hard to make this event as amazing as it is. Rosie, we love your heart, and we love the heart for CAP for Australia, and we're 100% on board with you. But hey, let's shift gears a little. Justin, we want to hear about this MasterChef journey.
Yes.
Okay, so I think all of Australia is waiting with bated breath. Tell me what motivated you to apply and to be part of all of that.
I think I had a little bit more time on my hands. We were all in lockdown. I know it's not hugely inspirational, but I was at home, I was cooking a lot, bored. I was persuaded by my, she's my girlfriend at the time, to apply, and I'd always joke about it, and she kind of held me to that promise, and a friend, and I really wanted to play board games that night, and they were like, we're not playing board games till you apply, so I applied, and the rest was history. All
right, I wasn't going to ask you this, but you said your girlfriend, who I think through the show became...
Through the show, she became my fiancée.
Well, great.
In the Christmas break, and then by the time the show ended, which wasn't planned, she became my wife.
Wow.
Like a week, 2 weeks after the show wrapped. So
would you, recommend this as a way of finding your future husband or wife?
100%. Look, join MasterChef. You'll meet someone along the way. It's awesome.
Right. Hey, tell me what it's like. So, I watched those episodes where you plate up and you take what took you 5 hours to make something this big.
Yeah.
And you offer it to the judge. What does that feel like? Like, tell me what was going through your head at those times.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's and in the moment, the atmosphere in the room, and like the judge is like, you feel like your whole life depends upon this dish, and I'm like, this is it. My life depends on how they critique this dish, and if it's not good, like, it's over.
Oh,
there you go. No, it wasn't like that, but you go home at night, you sleep well, pray, everything's all good. You realise it's not that important. Let's just have some fun.
All right. Yeah. But let's face it, you got to the end, you got to the grand final, and you won it. Okay, we've got to know what that feels like.
It feels like surreal.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is the wildest. I still don't fully understand what just happened, but yeah, it's the best feeling in the world, and I still can't believe I just won MasterChef.
And you know what? I watched it with my husband, and what touched us were the relationships and friendships along the way. There was a deep friendship with both you and the second place winner.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, look, there's like, it's such, you're away from your family, it's such an intense environment. We have this common bond of like, we love food. And there's a lot of, we all live our lives differently outside of that, but there's something that really brings us together, which I really love about food. We just got to know each other really well, and he ended up, there was 5 of them ended up coming to my wedding and flew across, and it was such a good party, and we still honestly talk every second day or something that, so it's a lot of fun.
I love that, because CAP's all about relationship.
Yeah.
And it's actually all about walking alongside people. We don't just do something as a one-off, we actually join in with their life and walk with them. So you had a family, you had a girlfriend, fiance, wife. Tell me what it was like.
They were the same person.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. What was it like to have your family and now your wife journey that with you?
Oh, it was actually really special for me. There was a legitimate moment during the cook where I talked to the producer and I was like, "Hey, I'm out. I need I've got some family stuff. My dad was going through some health issues, and so I was ready to pull the plug. And they flew me back for the weekend. Saw Dad. He kind of got out of ICU the day I got out, and it was full on miracle. And to see him in the room, it was just crazy. I think you can just it was nothing short of a miracle, and that was really special to have them there. They've sacrificed so much for me to have opportunities like that. It's crazy to think, they grew up in a small town in Fiji with not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They came over here to give me opportunities, and I can have a crazy opportunity like going on a TV show to pursue a career in food and cooking, which sounds like a make-believe thing for them growing up. But they sacrificed for me to have those opportunities, and to make the most of it and do them proud at the highest level is honestly still to this day one of the greatest honors of my life.
Well, that's awesome. And if you're watching today, a big shout out to the family. I know your wife is with us today. We might capture a glimpse of her later.
Yeah.
All right, you've got 2 minutes. I want you to talk about the food.
Yes.
Because apparently it's all about the food. So what are we eating today? And tell us your favourite part of what you're serving today.
My favourite part of what we're serving today is the chicken, honestly.
Okay. Tell me who helped you with the chicken.
I actually had to source this sous chef called Everyone in Perth. And,
there you go.
No, Karen,
well,
honestly.
And a friend.
She marinated it the night before, and it actually tastes really good. Yes, the chicken is my favourite part. It's cheap, which, I like, and it's super tasty, and it's real easy to do, a real consistent cook. But I love the vibe of this menu. It's kind of all share style, everyone dig in, and I love eating like that. It's kind of like, you put all the food in the middle of the table, everyone's forced to talk, everyone's forced to interact, and it's always a good time. So I do love eating like this a lot.
I know many of the groups. So we have more than 35 dinner parties happening right now simultaneously. So big shout out to you guys. Yeah. I hope you're serving the same, and you're enjoying the charcoal chicken, the hummus.
Yeah, there's a garlic sauce, there's some pita bread, there's some cauliflower, everything.
You may have thrown in a bottle of wine, who knows, but we hope you're enjoying the experience. And, Justin, if you picked any kind of experience of any kind of dining, what would you pick as your favourite?
Oh, look, Karen, I'd pick this one.
Oh, really?
No, I was joking. No, I would. It was I do love eating with
fell
friends.
For it.
No, honestly, a family meal with my family, mum, except me not cooking, mum cooking, and chef style. That would be.
I hope my kids would say the same.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to throw back to Cap, and we'll see you in just a little while.
It was so cool hearing how Justin thinks about putting a meal together that people can share around a table. I mean, I know when I think of putting together a meal, I'm just thinking, how quickly can I get it done? And how few dishes can I create in the process?
Oh, your poor wife, Stu.
Yeah, I mean, I do okay. But I mean, Justin really thought about bringing people together, and that's what we're all about here at CAP.
Yeah, we really want to be connecting with you tonight. So don't forget to use that hashtag gathering4good. And speaking of connection, I had the absolute privilege to connect with our next special guest for this evening.
Nice.
So Janelle is a client of ours, and she really bravely shared her story a few months ago for our end of financial year appeal. Her story is one of hardship, but it is also one of friendship, and particularly with her debt coach Margie. She really journeys alongside her. And we're going to watch Janelle's story now.
I was in a lot of debt. and I was struggling to get a house for me and the kids. Husband and I had separated again. We got into debt when his brother died of cancer. Eventually he started then gambling to try and get us out of debt, which obviously didn't work. And then we had a month to get out, so then they gave us a big bill for a removal fee, just another debt. And I just didn't know how I was going to get out of any of it. I hide all the time from phone calls and letters, and it's not a very nice way to live. Too scared to answer your phone. I had to be stronger for everybody to get through it for the kids. And I needed to do what I had to do for the kids, so I had to be quite emotionally hard to cut my husband out to keep the kids right.
I just think it's a really big privilege to be allowed into somebody's life. You know, like you can go and help somebody and they can let you do some stuff for them, but it's really exciting when you can actually get alongside them and walk the journey.
So I went into a refuge, spent a month in there, which was quite an experience. And they told me to get in contact with this lady at CAPS and she could help. She's rocked up at my house and I was a mess.
The kids had been doing some tough stuff and the house was atrocious and she was pretty distressed.
I feel like I had someone in my corner. I had a very low self-esteem. I had nobody else in my corner.
They're people who have got body, soul and spirit. They need to be cared for financially, they need to be cared for emotionally and spiritually and physically. And if somebody's having trouble feeding their kids, you know, what's good of talking about Jesus if you're not looking after their physical needs as well? We have to show the love of God in all the different ways.
I'm the most stubborn person you'll ever meet. I do not ask for help at all. But if I never had, I would never be debt-free now.
I go home some days and I say to Gary, wow, she's amazing. She's a real champion. What she takes and what she does is astonishing.
The fact that you can save on nothing is true. You can put so much away and still get a savings. So budgeting skills was very good to learn. I can't speak highly of them enough. They have been my lifesavers. They really have. They have got me out of debt and able to look clearly at the future a lot brighter.
I think if you've sowed into CAP financially, you have really released people from poverty and from shame and from harmful situations. You have actually saved their lives. There are people who I think would not be here today if you hadn't given so generously. And CAP gives them a financial hope and a financial future.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you so much to everybody that's ever supported CAPS in any way. You know, you're all champions yourselves and you're helping us become champions as well.
Seriously, people need help. And if we're not going to help them, who will? And we've got Jesus, and Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus is our hope. It's not a one-person journey, it's a team thing.
You watch a story like that and you just think, like, that's resilience, that's strength. And so I'm so glad Janelle shared her story with us.
Yeah, what I love about Margie is just how she sees that resilience in Janelle and she really brings it out of her. I also actually gave Margie a call last week and you will never guess what she was doing.
What was she doing?
She happened to be in her car on her way to having coffee with Janelle for her birthday.
Oh, really? That's so coincidental.
I know, what are the chances? But it really just speaks to the kind of friendship they have. But yeah, when I spoke to Margie, she just shared an anecdote with me and I wanted to share it with you tonight as an update for Janelle and to see what it's like beyond that debt-free story. You know, it's been a few months now since Janelle has gone debt-free and so she actually recently got a bill and it was a bit unfair and quite substantial and it needed to be taken to the tribunal. There was a lot of paperwork and it was right in the middle of this time. It was really intense for Janelle and she was so overwhelmed. She didn't know what to do. But she went to her friend Margie and also to Karen, who is another CAP volunteer at that local church, C3 Victory. And together they helped Janelle fill out that paperwork, but they didn't stop there. They said, let's get together and pray for that date to be moved.
And did it get moved?
Yeah, the
wow.
date got moved.
That's the power of prayer.
Yeah, it's so incredible. It's such an exceptional example of a debt coach just going beyond that role and providing that friendship that Margie talks about. Because, you know, past being debt-free, Janelle still has things ahead of her. We all do. And we all need someone to walk alongside us. And that is what I love about their friendship.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, clearly Margie sees her as more than a client. Well, now we're going to cut to Rosie to talk to us more about the vision of what it means for you to give to CAP.
What a powerful story. I love the genuine friendship between Janelle and Margie. It's challenging and inspiring. When you give a financial gift to CAP, you can be confident that the help and hope you are giving families just like Janelle's is ensuring that they aren't going to face financial distress alone. It's not about quick fixes. It's about empowerment, friendship, support, and community. CAP is passionate about equipping churches to become communities of people that are committed to walking alongside people and help find the fullness of life that God intended for them. To see people flourish. When people find themselves in financial distress, they are often also isolated and alone, just like Janelle and her children. CAP resources, training and tools equip the church to give hope, build community and live generously. Christians find it difficult to know how to support vulnerable people in financial distress. CAP is strategically positioned to help fill this gap. Tonight, you have an opportunity to make that a reality. CAP needs to raise $220,000. It's a lot of money to ensure that this innovation phase of CAP's history can continue. I read a quote recently by Warren Buffett. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. This innovation work is your opportunity to invest into something that will provide shade for many people in the future. Will you join CAP Australia to walk alongside families just like Janelle's? Will you join them at the table? Will you give generously? I would love for you to give generously tonight. It's part of the CAP vision to see Christians giving generously so that others would flourish. I'm always reminded of a small boy in the Bible who gave what he had, 5 loaves and 2 fish, a small, humble gift, but it was everything he had. He gave generously, and Jesus did the miracle. To make a donation, please call CAP on the phone number on your screen. You can give or pledge a gift. Alternatively, you can give straight away by visiting the CAP website. And as I've already mentioned, thanks to some generous CAP supporters, we have a match fund tonight of $50,000. So if you give or pledge before the end of this evening, not tomorrow, today, your gift will be doubled. Give a gift of $1,000 and CAP will receive $2,000, doubling your impact. So I'm sure you're as eager as I am to find out how much we've raised so far. So start with your drum rolls again, please. The total raised, including the match fund, is currently sitting at $76,840. Woohoo! We're getting there. So, I've got some more exciting news for you now. Over the past couple of months, we've been sharing the new CAP vision and innovation work with some of CAP's key supporters by inviting them to join a special group of seed funders. And I know that many of them are watching at home today. Thank you for your commitment to this project. And as promised, the amount raised within this seed funder group is going to be added into the total tonight. So, the amount raised by our seed funders has reached a staggering $72,549. So we're going to add those two up together now to give us a running total for how much we have raised tonight. If you're going to start with the drum roll, start with those now. We're at a total of $149,389. Woohoo! We've passed halfway. How exciting is that? I'm going to hand back to Stu now.
Thanks for that update, Rosie. That is amazing.
Yeah, you guys are seriously generous. We can't wait to see more donations come in through the night.
But of course, this evening is more than about donations. It is about connecting together around the table as we consider what the future might look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've been using the hashtag Gathering for Good, we're going to go through some of those photos now and see what's been happening at dinner parties all across Australia. And I want to make sure I see my family tonight. So Mum, if you haven't used a hashtag, make sure you do that. Cindy with her on point garlic sauce.
She
nice
looks
one.
very happy.
Yeah, getting it done, Cindy. Really love that.
All right, we've got Bart. The cooking has already started in my kitchen. I promise it smells and tastes better than it looks.
It does look a little bit like gruel at the moment.
Yeah, where's your, I think you need a plant in the background, Bart. That is still the rage, isn't it?
Hey, those two look seriously excited. Ross and Ali getting ready for the dinner at the McKinnons. I'm sure they are having a very good night.
Yeah, they look like they have had a good time. All right. Oh, here we have Wendy. Looks like she's with a familiar face.
Yes, it does. And we think that might be a little bit of a sneak peek of what's later in store for us tonight. Bit of an outdoor setting there. That's Dave's crew Gathering for Good.
Oh, he's got it.
You're using the hashtag there, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's got the number in there. He knows what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Alenka's family gathering hashtag for good. For the first time since lockdown. Look, there might be quite a few gatherings tonight that are their first in a home in many months.
The reunion after lockdown. It's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome to see.
Hey, Steph and Beth catching up, gathering for good. That is so good. Thank you for sending your photo in.
Yeah, they're as part of our awesome counting team working hard from home.
And this one, he's got the barbecue fired up, and that is the Adelaide family. So, hey, again, shout out for my friends in Adelaide.
Beautiful food and great company for a fabulous cause. Thanks, Michelle. I love your little dyeing cloth there.
Tablecloth?
Yeah, there's some lemons.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're edible. What do you think?
I don't think so. Well, we've been all across the country now, but where are we going next, Lauren?
We are going to head across the international waters over to the UK. We are going to be hearing from CAP UK's founder, John Kirkby, and he's going to be sharing a little about why he's excited for the future of CAP Australia. And after that, we're going to come on back over to Western Australia and hear more from Justin about the dishes that he has prepared tonight.
Great, let's go to them now.
Hi there, my name is John Kirkby and I'm the founder of Christians Against Poverty. It's 25 years since we started this amazing ministry here in the UK. I just want to say how delighted I've been to see CAP Australia over the last 20 years grow and establish itself in helping the poor and helping churches to not only release people from poverty, but also to make sure that the hope of Jesus Christ is embedded in everything we do and everything we are. Rosie and team, I am so excited and thrilled by the way that you've taken the principles of Christians Against Poverty and you've come up with some incredibly innovative and fantastic new ways of engaging even more churches with even more people, but allowing and ensuring that the gospel is in the heart of all that you do. So I pray that you have a fantastic evening. I hope that by His Spirit you are inspired to be generous, to give support and pray the amazing work that Rosie and her team have done. And I'm praying for this fantastic new initiative that more lives will be changed and more people will find Jesus Christ as their personal saviour and see their lives transformed and renewed in Him. So have a great time and don't forget, be generous.
Well, hi everyone. We're back here and we thought we'd change it up and show you our dinner parties. So give a wave, everyone. So good to be with you. You know, I was so thrilled when Justin said he would come to my house because I'm probably not known for my cooking. I do other great things, but cooking's probably not one of them, and my oven has never had food in it like what it's had today. So Justin, if you were talking to people like me all over Australia, just like, you know, household cooks, what would be one tip that would change my life forever if I just did that one thing?
Like, you're a really good cook, genuinely. I would say just keep doing what you're doing. But
that's not helpful.
No. But if you were like, hey, rookie cook, you've never cooked before, take the small wins. Like, you make 2-minute noodles, that's cooking. That counts for me.
Okay.
Just gain the confidence, get the ball rolling. You microwave the meat pie, that's a cook. Like, you know what I mean? As long as you didn't buy it, just take the small wins, and you know, it's all about confidence, building the confidence. and hopefully you go somewhere.
Well, I do microwave and then I put it in the oven for 5 minutes, so
Perfect.
it looks like I cooked it.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Good.
exactly.
All right, that's my top tip. Okay, guys, well, we've got our dinner in front of us. If you had to rate the dinner for this CAP virtual fundraiser, what would you rate it out of 10?
11.
11! 11! All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you're our MasterChef winner here in this house as well, so thank you so much. I want to just lean in just for 1 minute and talk to you about what tonight's all about. It's actually about giving to those who have so much less than us. So we, as a dinner party, decided we would give donations, and we'll do it online, but make pledges, so to speak, and we will add up the total so that you would know how much this one dinner party, and remember I said there's 30 to 35 of these around Australia, plus another 180 individual viewers. So I have the total here. They don't know what it is yet. But collectively, with the couples that are around this table, we are going to pledge and give tonight, Rosie, to CAP, $1,900. So that's exciting. And I think, that just takes people coming together and caring about others in this way. So it's a privilege for us to join you all over Australia as you do the same thing. Justin, we've got a couple of minutes, maybe one.
Okay.
If you just could say anything to our viewers today, including a quick little introduction of your beautiful wife in front of you,
Yes.
I'll hand it to you for a minute.
Well, if I could say anything on behalf of Esther and I, my incredible wife, would be, I think every small part kind of makes a difference. I think when it comes to cooking, and it's all those little touches that comes together in the end and makes a massive difference. And I think when it comes to an event like this, there's hundreds of these happening all over Australia. It's incredible to know how big of a difference we can make in people's lives. So a huge thank you to whoever's on the other end of this screen for playing your small part, because it's making a really big difference in real people's lives. And I think end of the day, that's what kind of it's all about. So it's a huge honour to be able to host a dinner and do this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the food.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also think, in this season, it's not a coincidence that we're eating as we actually give to those who find it difficult sometimes to even put a meal on the table.
Yeah.
And I've had connections with those people over the last 5 or 6 years being connected with CAP, and I've seen the look in the eyes and the lack of dignity that people feel when they can't even provide food for their children, for their families, and to have CAP come alongside and to actually teach them and walk with them to recreate their world and to get them out of the cycle of poverty. It's no small coincidence that we're doing this. So we're going to enjoy the food now. I invite you all across the country to do the same. Thank you so much, Justin, for being with us. Thank you, everyone else. Why don't we thank him? And I'll hand back to you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Justin, Karen and her family for their generosity, but also the encouragement. I mean, those words that we all can play a small part. So if you are moved to give today, even if it's just something really small, you can be a part of changing people's lives. And I also found it really encouraging. According to Justin, I think I'm a chef. I think I actually am a chef. If it just takes 2-minute noodles and scrambled eggs, then I'm going to claim that.
I don't know if you would be an 11 out of 10 chef though.
Maybe not.
Maybe we'll leave that to Justin.
Yeah.
Well, it is time for our final guest. This is another CAP client who was featured around 3.5 years ago. And the special thing, which we got a sneak preview for, so spoiled the surprise a little. But she is with us live tonight in the office. Her name is Wendy, and she has a really awesome story. So we're going to watch her story first, and then we're going to cut across to Rosie, who's going to give her a bit of an interview and find out what's been happening in her life since then.
Great, let's do that.
It's always good having that extra person to help you financially, emotionally, just with decisions, but I wasn't getting that in that relationship anyway. I was basically living a single life but in fear. We had to change, things had to change. I had to get David out of class and we went to a safe house. When we were driving there, we were making up spy names and just having games along the way. And the heartbreaking moment for me was when I saw my youngest son sitting in the gutter crying, saying, why are we leaving Mum? We were living on people's couches, At one stage there we lived in a caravan park, and again I'm trying to make it fun, and there were nights where we just spent eating 2-minute noodles. I went to see the doctor. She gave me 2 phone numbers. One was for a psychologist and the other one was for CAP. She said, you need these 2. So I can't remember what happened with the psychologist, whether I rang them or not, but I did ring CAP, and that was just pivotal. Changed my life, that one phone call.
The day that CAP turned up, I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know about CAP, but I certainly know about them now. I think that the fact that they took her step by step through all of the finances and worked out with her how to get out of the position she was in, I thought it was really, really wonderful.
They made me know that I was loved. They made me remember that God is a loving God. I remember the day Mum and I were sitting in a cafe and Jodie, my caseworker, rang to say that I was out of debt. It was beyond relief. It was beyond happy. I didn't actually think I would get my boys back. I didn't actually think I would be sober. I didn't actually ever think I'd be debt-free. Mum's proud. My boys are proud. I remember my mum always said to me, growing up, she said, always keep your dignity, always keep your dignity. And I know there were moments and times where I'd lost that. And it's a shameful thing, but now I have my dignity back. It's great.
Hello, and I'm so honoured to have Wendy here with us today. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing your story 3.5 years ago. And thank you for bravely saying that you will be in the office live with all of the glitches
Here
of
I
live
am.
and everything that there is. And Wendy has just watched that video and we had to get tissues out. And so I'm going to ask Wendy some questions just to find out what life is like now and what has been happening since. Because God has not finished with your story 3.5 years later, and God is still at work. And so the first question I want to ask you, we've talked a lot about hope tonight. In your story, what did it feel like to start feeling hope?
Look, there is so much hope now. There is so much hope with Jesus, and you know, I wouldn't have known 3 years ago that I would be here now. Yeah, and I just can't wait to see what God's got planned for me, Rosie.
And we've got some pretty exciting things through Wendy's story to share. One of them is that Wendy has started working at a school for children with learning disabilities. She works full time. She's something again that she didn't think that she would be doing. And you love your job.
Oh, I do.
Tell us about your job and how that
Yes.
came about, and just how much you enjoy. Why do you enjoy it?
Well, I had the job at a Christian school and it was wonderful, but I had other plans that I thought that I would carry on to do, but God kept drawing me back to this school, so they gave me full-time employment at the beginning of this year, and it's just wonderful. I wake up every day and I can't wait to get to work, Rosie. I love my job. I love the people I work with. We have devotions every day. We pray. You know, I have one particular lady I pray with, you know, all the time, and it's such a privilege, and I just love it. I love going to work.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Me and Wendy were talking earlier before, and she was saying kind of 6 years ago when she was homeless, to imagine now that she's working and enjoying it, and that Jesus has been part of that story, and the church community has been part of that story. It really has been transformational.
It has.
And I want to ask you a difficult question now. Since we filmed that, sadly, Wendy's mum has passed away, and that was probably the point that you started getting tearful when we were watching that.
Yeah.
But I also know that through your story, your relationship with your mum changed, and your relationship was restored through that time of restoration and hope and change and transformation. What did it mean to you to have that relationship restored?
Look, there was 3 years before Mum died where she saw me sober, saving money, not ringing her every, week, and to have that for Mum just before she died.
It's powerful.
Very, very powerful.
Really powerful.
Yeah.
And just on a lighter note, Wendy has bought a house this year, which again we were talking about earlier, and the fact that 6.5 years ago you were homeless, and this year you've bought your own home. What does that feel like?
Again, I would never have known I'd own my own home, and it's just amazing because I went and saw 2 or 3 people about getting a loan, and they rejected me, and they said you haven't got enough, and then one lady at work said, well, give this number a ring, so I gave them a ring, and next thing I know they've said yes, and it was like, I'd already prepped my sister preparing for another no, but it wasn't a no. They said yes, and next thing it's like I'm signing this contract to say that I own a home.
It's so good. And when Wendy got her keys, she actually came into the office here at CAP, and she brought her keys and she shared with us that she'd sold a home. What was it that made you come and visit us and share that news?
It was a God thing, but it was just up the road, and I was driving by because I remember coming in here to see my caseworker once, and I thought, this is where it all started with CAP. I have to call in. I have to let them know, because I know you hear a lot of stories and they're sad, but I wanted, everybody here to hear a happy story. And so I came through the door and I said, remember me? And they just, heads started bobbing up from beyond the partitions, and and then I saw you, Rosie, and we're crying, and it was just a lovely moment.
It was really powerful for us to know the situation that Wendy was in, that she was homeless, and now she's owning a home. She's got these keys and she's dangling them in front of us. And you at home are part of that story and can continue to be part of that story. Thank you so much, Wendy, for being here today and being so brave in sharing your story back then, 3.5 years ago, but also for being here today. It has meant so much to us. We're now going to watch the animation video again, and this is through your generosity. This is what you're investing in.
CAP has been on a 20-year journey. Together, we've seen thousands released from the pain of unmanageable debt. And we've learned a lot along the way. The experience of our volunteers, along with some research of our own, has helped CAP understand the broader problem Aussies are facing. While everyone with unmanageable debt is in financial distress, not everyone in financial distress is in debt. In fact, 1 in 4 Australians say they are barely getting by, and this is unacceptable. So what can we do about it? CAP believes that no Australian should live in financial distress. But through a movement of churches, the problem can be addressed. Long-term freedom, generosity, wholeness, it's possible. And this can be achieved through partnership between CAP and the church. It's a wider problem, but we're confident that along the way, together, we've learned just how the church can be the solution to financial distress, seeing individuals flourish within a connected community. That's why CAP has created a new way for the church to reach those they're called to. We've built a self-paced online course based on a biblical approach to financial well-being, teaching mentoring and interpersonal relational skills while empowering a collective that builds knowledge over time. These volunteers will be better prepared than ever before to commit to walk alongside people in all sorts of financial distress for the long term, helping them understand their relationship to money, meet commitments, build resilience, and most importantly, pointing them towards Jesus. Together, we're all walking alongside to see these individuals journey toward flourishing within a connected community. Replicate this 1,000, 2,000 times in churches across the nation, and it builds a movement.
Over the past 21 years, God has established many things through CAP. And as we gather at the table, there is much to celebrate, Wendy's life being one of them. Many lives have been touched. We've talked about some of these already tonight. Over 2,100 Christians have been given new skills. Over 21,000 people have found financial freedom, and over 1,500 people are now following Jesus. CAP currently partners with 220 churches all across Australia, but with your help tonight, the opportunities for partnership with churches is in the thousands. In the next 10 years, with a new partnership model, I believe that thousands of churches could be equipped with the skills and confidence to ensure that no one faces financial distress alone. CAP has a huge vision, a vision that sees thousands of churches in partnership with CAP, providing vital financial tools, friendship and support. And you are invited to join the movement. One day, the Church of Australia will be known as a place of refuge and belonging, a place people can find hope, community and generosity. CAP needs to raise $220,000 to ensure that CAP can continue with this innovation project. Thank you to those of you that have already given tonight. But if you've not already given, now is the time. The match fund is very close to being matched, but there is still some of it left, so call now. Let stories like Janelle and Wendy be your motivation to give. Allow your heart of generosity and compassion for people waking up today trapped in financial distress. Allow your belief in the power of the church and the hope you have in the good news of Jesus be your motivation to give. Please stretch with me. I need you to be generous. The team are ready to take your call. The numbers on your screen, they can't wait to hear from you. You can also give on the website, which is on the screen too. So you can't delay any longer. This is your final opportunity for your gift to be counted by the team. And we're going to remove as many distractions for you as possible. There will be some photos of past clients for the next minute and a half, so don't get too carried away, on the screen, so that you can donate now. We often get asked if we use stock photography for people that we have helped. No, we don't. These are real clients. They are known by name and represent Jesus' story of hope. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're very near the end of this evening, but before I announce the final amount, the team are busy scurrying about getting the total together. Not even I know what it is yet. And so I wanted to take this opportunity as they do that to thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to those of you that have supported CAP over many years. CAP is building on the foundations that you have laid. The money raised tonight will make a huge difference in the lives of individuals. I also wanted to say a huge thank you to my friends Stuart and Lauren. Thank you for hosting tonight. A massive thank you also to Karen and Justin for joining us. It has been great to hear more about Justin's MasterChef journey and benefit from the amazing menu that Justin put together. The team are nearly ready. I think they're kind of bustling around. So while I've got another minute, I'll just keep talking. I'd love for you to consider any other ways you can join the CAP movement. Maybe you could join the prayer team. Maybe you could become a money mentor. Maybe you want to find more out for your church, getting involved in the pilot. We'll send you an email next week with some more information on how you can get involved. Okay, how are we going? Okay, someone's running over, we're getting there. Okay, so let's start a drum roll, and as it comes, so drum roll please, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Okay, we have raised together $193,000, $219. I knew I'd get it wrong. That is so amazing. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for being part of this really special evening. It is so totally mind-blowing to have an hour and to be able to raise nearly $200,000 together. Thank you for taking that step and standing alongside those in financial distress. CAP will be able to step into this innovation work with confidence. I hope you have a great evening, and if you're with friends, enjoy the party.